Hello. Hope everyone's having a blessed afternoon. Well, as much as I don't want to, it looks like we're going to have to talk about it. These new detention facilities that are being built and people are being put into based on their pain and suffering. We need to be taking every day, one day at a time. Right now, we're seeing a great falling away. And as mentioned in Thessalonians 2:3, calling the rebellion an abandonment of the truth. In the end times, this will be a whole rejection of God's revelation. In Titus 1:15, to the pure in all things that are pure, but the defiled and unbelieving nothing is pure. Both their minds and their consciousness are defiled. They profess to know God, but they deny him by their works. They are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for any good work. They elevate their own laws above God's law. Honor God only by speaking about it. But in Matthew 15:8, it says that these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. Morally, this is devoid of the Spirit. And I also have a video that I have here I wanted to share.
And we saw at least 30 alligators on our way in driving. It is in the middle of truly nowhere. It took us an hour, 4-hour drive to get here today. It's crazy. Look at that. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the eye can see, you go in, you don't come out. And if you do, the alligators get you. And the mosquitoes. Jeez. All right. Okay, we'll show you inside. Follow along.
It's rather disturbing just how many MAGA people are not only celebrating this concentration camp, Alligator Alcatraz as they're calling it, that they opened up at the Florida Everglades. They're not only celebrating it, they are downright happy about it. They are giddy. They are like a kid on Christmas morning level excited about it, which is really, really disturbing. And I thought of a few ways of how I was going to actually make this video. And I realized that appealing to your humanity is a lost cause, because if you are celebrating this, if you think this is a good idea, if you are happy about this, there's no humanity left in you. You are a shell of a person who has no compassion, warmth, tenderness, love, humanity. It's all gone. And it would be a Sisyphean effort on my part to even try. So what I'm going to do is, as a physician, I'm going to try to address the public health nightmare that this concentration camp poses. Because I realize that a lot of you are just self-serving, very selfish people and might care if it's going to impact you. Now, I'm going out on a limb here because I know how y'all really care about public health, because we saw how you acted during COVID, sacrificing grandma so you can go get a haircut. So this might fall on deaf ears, but maybe someone might want to hear it. Now, it's already widely understood that the conditions in ICE detention centers are horrible, especially the privately owned ones, because there's very little oversight and very little regulation. So there's often infectious disease outbreaks like typhoid, measles, mumps, tuberculosis, hepatitis, COVID, and the detainees often get very sick from these infectious diseases. And detainees often get sick because their underlying medical conditions are just not adequately treated. They don't get medical attention while they're there, and a lot of them die as a result of it, and a lot of them die by unaliving themselves because, again, there's just no standards. But you take this concentration camp that is situated in one of the most inhospitable locations in our country, if not the world, the Florida Everglades, and you add a whole new bag of shit to it. So the Florida Everglades are literally swamplands, right? They are uninhabitable, not meant for human habitation whatsoever. And now you're just throwing up some tents and putting bunk beds in there and calling it a camp. And, the heat and elements alone are going to pose a lot of risks, right? The detainees are going to be subject to things like heat stroke and severe dehydration. It's surrounded by water, right, that will flood the area, especially during hurricane season. And whenever you have flood waters entering a facility like that, you're going to risk contaminating water with sewage. And then you're going to get a lot of conditions like E. coli, Shigella, Salmonella, Campylobacter, Leptospirosis, hepatitis, those outbreaks. And when you have large congregate settings like that, 5,000 people stacked on top of one another, breathing this heavy, thick air, you're going to get things like multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, COVID, other airborne infections. And as you saw Benny Johnson in there swatting away all those mosquitoes, there's no way to control for mosquitoes in that environment. They are just there. That is their home. And with them come a lot of vector-borne, mosquito-borne illnesses like West Nile, dengue, Zika, chikungunya, Eastern equine encephalitis. There's even an Everglades encephalitis virus because of those mosquitoes. So you're going to see all of that. Now, I know y'all don't care if the detainees get sick and die because, as we've already highlighted, you have no humanity. You don't view them as human. I've seen your comments on Twitter talking about how they're alligator food and just like gleefully talking about feeding human beings to alligators. So we know that ship has sailed. But the ICE workers who were there, they're going to get sick too, right? They're not going to be immune to all the illness that's going to come of this, and they're going to go back to their families and spread these illnesses. So it has a very, very high likelihood of being a just public health disaster. But you know, guys, I just got to tell you, you're not on the right side of history with this one. I'm sorry. In the future, historians are not going to look back on you kindly with your alligator Alcatraz merchandise, your hat and your t-shirt, bragging about it on the internet, and there will be a digital footprint. You know, you're not going to be able to hide from this. So, I don't know. This just makes me feel real icky inside. Everything I learn about this concentration camp makes me more and more disgusted, more and more ashamed. And the fact that some people are just happy and giddy about it really also makes me feel icky and disgusting inside. But, you know, what are you going to do?
That was Dr. Eric speaking. Everything he said was correct in what he said. People are not treating others like humans. This is what we're seeing right now. This is part of the great falling away that Paul was talking about. And if you don't see it, you need to really pray about it. You really need to pray about it if you're not seeing this right now. Peter 14. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires that you had when you lived in ignorance. But just as he called you is holy, to be holy in all that you do. For it is written, be holy because I am holy. Since you call on a Father who judges each person's work impartially, live out your time as foreigners in reverent fear. For you know that it was not with perishable things, such as silver or gold, you were redeemed from the empty way of life handed down to you from your ancestors, but with precious blood of Christ, a lamb without blemish or defect. He was chosen before the creation of the world, but was revealed in the last times for your sake. He's talking about the end times. In the end times, in Matthew 23:28, it says, so you outwardly appear righteous. So on the outward, people will appear righteous. So they're going to look like they're righteous people to others. People are going to think that they're righteous people on the outside. But within are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. So inside, they're going to be the complete opposite. Through him, you believe in God, who raised him from the dead and glorified him. And so your faith and hope are in God. Now that you have purified yourselves by obeying the truth, so that you have sincere love for each other. Love one another deeply. From the heart. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Now that you have purified yourselves by obeying the truth. This is the truth that is to be known. By obeying the truth, so that you have sincere love for each other, love one another deeply from the heart. For you have been born again, not of perishable seed, but of imperishable, through the living and enduring word of God. Now here we go. For all people are like grass. All of their glory is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. The word, the truth. The word of the Lord, the truth endures forever. That will never go away. Oh, and if you are out there sharing the gospel, our motivation when sharing the gospel should always be to please God and to never seek approval of people. For God examines our hearts. In 1 Thessalonians 2:4, just as we have been approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel, so we speak not to please man, but to please God, who will always test our hearts. So I hope that again, a heavy message for today. But I pray that this word bless you. I pray this word bless you today. And have a really good rest of your day.